Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Captain retired Jehanzeb FalasteenWala again on your video screen after a very long time. And today with me a very special guest, Mr. James Saunders, and he is an ex-army, U.S. Army soldier, and he has a lot to discuss because he is a very interesting personality and has been taking up challenges which normally people do not take. As before this interview, he was telling me that he, at the age of 47, rejoined the army. That is something which is not normally heard. So let's take his introduction. Assalamu alaikum and greetings from my side, Mr. James. Introduce yourself.
My name is James Saunders, and I live in the United States, in Nevada, and I joined the Army in 1979, where I stayed in the Army for about 17 years, 4 months, because I departed the Army in 1996 at the behest of my ex-wife. And speaking of wives, I was married 4 times. I'm with wife number 4 now, and I have 4 adult children. I live now as a retiree. I'm retired, and I don't work for anybody. I don't answer to anyone, and my life is good.
That's brilliant. So much you told about yourself, and so much was so interesting that every part of it needs elaboration from your side. What is the secret behind marrying 4 wives and having been able to attract 4 ladies to become your wife? What is that secret behind it?
The secret. The secret to marrying 4 women was my first wife. She was an Asian woman, where I had my first 2 children. And to be perfectly honest, I messed that marriage up. I won't go into detail as to why my marriage ended. I'll just say it was my fault. And so that marriage ended. We were married for 13 years. Yeah, we were married for 13 years. From that marriage came 2 lovely children. Now they're in the ages of their age is 40 years old and about 44. Then came my second wife. I attracted her because all throughout the time that I've been alive, from the time I came in the Army at the age of 21, I've never been alone. Children have always been around me. People have always been around me. So I needed, in my mind, I needed to be with somebody. I needed to be with somebody. So there came wife number 2. We got married, and I stayed married to her for 10 years. And it wasn't my fault. It wasn't my fault. That marriage ended. So for a while, I was by myself. Again, there again, I had 2 more children in my life. There I had another woman in my life, so I wasn't alone. And for some reason, all the time that I've been alive up to that point, I was always with somebody, always having somebody in my ear, always talking to me, telling me what I should do. That's the way I lived. Then wife number 3 came. Oh my God. I was in very good condition. I felt I couldn't be with somebody my own age. So I made a decision. It was not a good decision. It really wasn't a good decision for me. I married a woman who was 25 years younger than me. What? She was 25 years younger than me. And we got married. And the thing about being married to somebody much younger than me, the reason why it didn't work, because there again, wasn't my fault. We got divorced. But my view was that she was younger. She wanted younger things. I was older. I was the kind of guy that wanted to, read, watch TV, stay in the house at night. Not her. She wanted to go out. She wanted to be out. She wanted to do young people things. That marriage did not yield any children for me. We never had children. We were only married for 2 years. So we got divorced. And one day, an individual contacted me, a friend contacted me from Texas. He was telling me about this substance called CBD, which is a substance that is derived from the hemp plant, which is legal in this country. And the substance affects your cannabinoid system, which we all have. And the cannabinoid system affects the way you sleep, affects the way you think, affects the way you dream, but it does not make you high. So he asked me, James, have you heard of CBD? And I told him, I said, I've heard about it, but quite frankly, I didn't know much about it. I heard about it. Then he asked me, do you sell it? I said, does your company sell it? Well, the company I was with at the time was not affiliated with CBD. So we disconnected the call. We didn't talk again. But then another friend of mine contacted me on a strange day. It was like December 24th. My God. And he called me and he said, you need to be involved with CBD. I said, man, you too? He said, what? He said, I just talked to a friend of mine that was talking about CBD. What is this thing about? Look, you're in a company, right? He said, yes. You must want me to join you, right? He said, yes. Look, I will buy 3 bottles of CBD from you if you promise me never to call me again to talk to me about CBD. He said, okay, great. No pressure, James. I'll send you a link. It's great. Send me the link. I promise y'all will do some research on the company that you talk about. You know? Yeah, like a lot of people will say, they'll do research on something, but they have no intention of doing research on anything. But I hung the phone up from him. We were on a venue like this talking. So I hung up my computer and then I went to another screen and I did research on his company that he talked about. The company that he spoke of was named HempWorks. And I looked it up. I said, okay, let me see about this company. And I was astonished because the company had made $10 million, which is okay. I mean, it's groundbreaking. But then a year later, I saw where the company grew to $100 million. I said, "Oh my goodness, are you serious?" Oh, so what did I do? I joined the company, and the next morning I called them up. I said, he asked me immediately. He said, "How many bottles do you want?" I said, "What?" He said, "How many did you decide how many bottles of CBD you want?" I said, "Bottles, smuggles. I'm a part of your team, dude. I'm a part of your team. I joined your company." He was like, he was amazed. So I joined this company and now I had CBD. So I was using it. I was feeling better. My joints, as I was getting older, were feeling better. I was still strong. I was still strong. I lost my host. I think we lost the connection. I'm going to wait a while before I disconnect and try to come in again to see if he regained the connection. You're back.
Yes, there was internet disconnectivity.
All right. Well, like I was saying, I joined this company. Now I had CBD. As my body was feeling good. I was still feeling strong. Um, so I used it. Then all of a sudden, meanwhile, you remember, I was divorced from wife number three.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting around and I'm looking on Facebook at my high school reunion group. And I got into a conversation with a young lady. And I asked her, we got into a long conversation. And she began to complain about hip pain. And I was saying, why don't you take something for that? Everything I take doesn't work. I said, it sounds like you need to have some CBD. She said, okay, I need to have some CBD. So I sent her some CBD. 45 minutes later, after taking CBD, her hip pain was gone. We began to have long conversations. And one day, she called me. She said, "James," I said, "What?" "I like the way you think." I like the way you talk. I like the way you articulate. I like the way you communicate. I said, thank you. She said, I have a question to ask you. I said, what? She said, would it be okay if I came by your house? I live about 4 hours from you. Would it be okay if I came by your house to meet you? And I was like, I had not been with anybody. And I was thinking, like, my goodness, a strange woman wants to come to my house. She wants to meet me. And by that time, it was just me. It was just me and my dog. I had a big dog. He was a Great Dane. He was as big as a human.
Great Dane. I've heard of it.
Big dog. And but I told her, I said, yeah, you can come by. So she comes by the house. She drives. He shows up, much to my surprise. I invited her in, and we're talking. And I go get my dog. I let my dog out. My dog walks up to her, and she wasn't scared. I mean, you remember the she's 5'1". When he stands up, he's as tall as her. Dog walks out and puts his head down. And she pets his head. Dog loved him. Dog loved her. She wasn't scared at all. In my mind, I'm thinking, man, that's amazing. She might be a keeper. She's amazing. So we got together because we kept talking. We went to an event together. And on the third day of the event, because I didn't want to tell her that I was having feelings for her, I said, you know what? I'm going to tell her that we need to get together. So I told her, I said, on the third day, I told her, I said, I have a question for you. She said, what? I said, I have something to tell you. She had joined my company at that time. She thought that she had done something wrong. So she said, what did I do wrong? Am I out of compliance or something? I said, you didn't do anything wrong. I just want to invite you to dinner. She said, you want to invite me to dinner? So I invited her to dinner. We had a nice dinner. I walked her to her elevator because she had told me that she did not want to be involved in a relationship with anyone. So I said to myself, oh, it's okay. She's a nice person. She doesn't have to be involved in a relationship with me. So we parted ways. She went to California for her birthday. And I stayed in Nevada for some training. Later that next day, the phone rings. It's her. She says, I know what I told you, but I was thinking about what you said. And I've decided maybe we ought to give this thing a try. I said, what? She said, maybe we ought to give this thing a try. We ought to get together? Yeah. Okay. When are you going to be back in North Carolina? Well, it's Sunday now. I'll be back in North Carolina tomorrow, Monday. I'll be back Monday afternoon. What time will you be back? I'll be back around 12. That's good. That's good. I'll see you at 1. So I drove to her house at 1 o'clock. We've been together ever since. We got married on her birthday.
Right.
We don't have any show.
That was a very romantic story. It's a very fabulous story, and I really like it. You must write a book on it.
I'm in the process.
Okay. So, so you are still in that running that company CBD.
Yes, I am. I'm still in the company. The company has enabled me to amass much. Now I'm sitting here in my bedroom. My wife is in another bed because she has had 3 heart attacks and 4 strokes, not from CBD, but what she did in her previous life. What she did, she did not take good care of herself, but I take good care of her. So the company that I'm in, what I've been able to amass, has enabled me to provide for her. It's enabled me to provide for her.
Your meal, there's a lot of meal.
Thank you very much. Has enabled me to provide for her and provide for myself. I didn't tell you this, but I have a condition that I got after being in the military. I left the Army in February of 2010. I came down with a condition called multiple sclerosis. It affects the central nervous system. It affects the nerves of one's body. The condition is incurable. I can't take a pill. I can't take a shot and be cured. I will never be cured. I will always have multiple sclerosis. But
What are this multiple sclerosis? What is this?
multiple sclerosis is a condition that affects the myelin sheath of your spine. For example, you have a myelin sheath. I have a myelin sheath. Imagine your body attacking your myelin sheath. If your body attacked your myelin sheath, which is a fatty tissue which surrounds your spine, it would be similar to like your spine is like an electric wire. Right? Your spine is like an electric wire. And the myelin sheath is like insulation. And suddenly your condition attacks your insulation around your spine. It begins to eat away at the insulation around your spine. Like if you had like an electric wire and you just chewed away the insulation, the electricity would not be very productive down that wire. Similarly, my body doesn't work the way it did. Walking is very difficult. Balance is very difficult. Being positive is very difficult. So I've had the condition since the age of 52. I've had the condition for 14 years.
Okay. Do you believe in God?
Yes, I believe in God. I believe in God because my wife, we were sitting together one time. My pastor, a religious figure, married us online by Zoom. My pastor called me on the phone one day and he said, "Brother James, have you ever considered being a minister?" I said, "Sure, I've considered being a minister." He said, "Well, in my faith, I have the ability to make you a minister if you say yes." I prayed about it. I thought to myself, sure, I would like to be a minister. So I told him, yes, Pastor Darby, Pastor, I would love to be a minister. He said to me, great, wonderful, you're a minister. Are you serious? He said, yes, you're a minister. I expect you to preach your first sermon 2 Sundays from now. Can you do it? Sure. I've been a minister ever since.
Right. So tell me, what is the minister? What are his functions and what is he supposed to do?
A minister is a person that shares the word of God to interested persons, has the ability to impact other people, help other people, embrace other people, love other people, care for other people in a huge way.
That's right. So you're doing it since past?
Yes.
Okay. So, well, it was very interesting talking to you. Do you like to pass on a message to the entire world about anything which you want them to learn and think that will benefit them, irrespective of their caste, creed, religion, nationality? What message would you like to share with them?
The message that I would give them is, you take 2 fists, they don't move. If one side is fighting and the other side is fighting, and you go, nothing moves. We can't get together, but we can do this. We're not fighting anymore. We can shake hands. We can have love for one another. We can listen to one another. What I learned with my marriages, reason why my 4th marriage works so well is that we've learned to listen to one another. And I say to you, your viewers, need to listen to one another.
That's great. I particularly, and I would like my viewers to understand the message. It's a very valuable message. All of us should have the ability and the capacity and the temperament to listen to others. If we will not listen to others, there will be, animosity between us because We are not listening. We do not know what the other person wants to say and what is or her, you know, thoughts about what's basically the situation we are into. So thank you very much, James. And I wish and I request you some other time also, very soon, I would request you to come in my show and we'll discuss something else about it. You have a lot of experience how to build relationship. You have been in 4 relationships, mashallah, and you have the ability to also disseminate your experience in a very eloquent manner. So that was a fabulous understanding and learning from you. And I will request you soon. I'm going to send you another link so that we can come again and share about the army, share about CBD, share about experience. What do you think the world should be, and the peace? What do you think what peace is, and about the conflicts going on in the world? If you accept my request,
I understand. I will accept your request.
thank you very much. See you again sometime else. Okay. Thank you.
Take care.